Welcome back to another episode of the Entry for One podcast. I'm your host, Jose Hernandez, and on this episode, we will be talking about San Diego Comic-Con 2018, talking about trailers, news, and more. On this episode, we're joined by Aaron Cruz.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We're also joined by a new face, Ryan Lozano.
Hey, guys, what's up?
So this week, Comic-Con San Diego 2018 passed, and we got some cool new trailers along with some news. The biggest trailers I think that we got were Titans, Glass, Shazam, Aquaman, and then as well as the Godzilla King of Monsters trailer.
Huge lineup.
What was y'all's favorite trailer that y'all saw out of this weekend?
So one of my favorite trailers that I saw had to be Godzilla, hands down. I thought that was pretty good.
Do you think they're overkilling it, doing another Godzilla?
Well, is this Godzilla taking place after the other one? Is it kind of like
After which one we saw?
It was just Godzilla. Yeah. That was in 2014, so it's been a few years now.
So, but they kind of left it open ended that there's stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, definitely in this trailer you see.
Or it could be the Kong. It could actually be Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with this trailer, you see the city now after a few years of its destruction after Godzilla happened, that they're kind of now in a apocalypse type of scenario where they introduce new Godzilla villains like Mothra, Rodan, basically he's like a pterodactyl, and then the three-headed monster king Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's going to be pretty exciting. I think a lot of people were hoping they would see King Kong in this trailer, but I personally think, or I just think that it's going to be like that post-credit, that the third final film in this trilogy is going to end up being Godzilla versus King Kong.
It might not even have anything to do with Kong, actually.
Yeah.
Just the way the scenario movie set up the tone.
But, did you watch Kong?
Yeah, I watched Kong all the way to the end. They see that you see Godzilla rolling under, or they had nuked it, or I forgot what it was.
It was like they were playing an audio recording, and then at the very end of Kong, you hear Godzilla's iconic roar.
Screech. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's what they're gonna be leading up to. I thought it was a great trailer, though. I don't know. It was very moving almost. It felt like so uplifting, and
they're trying to target another form of. They're trying to get something else out of us, not like rage or anything. So I don't know if it's gonna be like they're actually saving us or what, but that's what I kind of got from it.
Yeah, kind of going with what Cruz said. It didn't feel more like we were in danger. It more felt like it was kind of like a team up or something. That's what I got from that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't really clear up like the whole. In the trailer, it feels like everyone is teaming up together because they show Millie Bobby Brown's character in the movie kind of petting Mothra, as in like Mothra is like a friendly character in this movie. But then the way they're explaining the movie when you kind of read about it is that Godzilla is going to have to defend the humans against these other monsters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of confusing the way they're kind of marketing the movie, but I think it's going to end up being somewhat of a team up, and then I think the antagonist in the movie is going to be Ghidorah, I think.
Godzilla put on some weight, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely, they redesigned him, I think.
They redesigned him really crazy.
They made him look more like the
Chinese, Japanese versions.
Yeah, the Chinese versions. Definitely more huskier, and then you see his we'll say his super beam in the trailer, it was a very cool shot of him. But yeah, I'm excited for this movie. I can't wait. It comes out next summer, so I'm looking forward to it.
I want to go ahead and talk about mine. My favorite one is probably Mr. Glass, but it's part of that trilogy that M. Night Shyamalan's been working on for a minute. If you all haven't seen it, it's Unbroken, and then the last one, most recent one was Split. So it's kind of exciting to see how this is all going to come together finally.
It was Unbreakable. The first one's Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Yeah, which came out a few years already. It's been that one came out in the 90s, I believe.
Or
early 2000s. Let me see.
2002, something like that, maybe 5.
That's the only one I haven't seen, and I'll definitely be watching it. Oh, it came out in 2000. Okay, so it came out in 2000.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check that out, man. That's probably one of my favorite movies. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's definitely one of those controversial directors as far as his
Big
movies are
time.
either hit or miss. Some people love
Yeah.
them, some people hate them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a name for that trilogy. It apparently some people are calling it the East Rail 177 trilogy
Oh,
Hmm.
from the
from
accident.
Unbreakable. Yeah, from the accident.
From the accident. Yeah, that makes sense. And they referred to it in the trailer.
What does
Mhm.
that mean? Can you explain that, Ryan?
So the East Rail 177 is the name of the trilogy that they're going to go with. And it basically is from the first movie, Unbreakable, that was the accident that kind of started the whole movie. So fans have kind of dubbed this trilogy the East Rail 177
That's
trilogy.
kind of cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 I was also telling Cruz earlier that the Unbreakable poster and the Split poster, one of the posters,
That's
they
pretty
kind of
cool. Yeah,
align together.
that's pretty cool. Like shards of glass.
Yeah.
So like different reflections.
Okay.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a good job tying this in then. As far as
I'm
like
gonna go ahead and dub this one a cult classic. I already know this one's gonna have like a low key underground following. It's not gonna be
This one?
popular, but these are good. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a cult following. People, it might catch on a little later, but these series of movies are really good.
yeah, the word I mean it looks very the trailer gave us a very it set the tone already for the movie. It's going to be very dark. We're going to see these characters basically release their full potential as the characters have been established at.
I went ahead and wrote an email for M. Night Shyamalan to DC for him to go ahead and direct the next Batman movie. That's what we need,
Batman
man.
movie.
Can you imagine?
I think if he were to direct a DC movie, man, I don't know about he would seem like a guy that could do like a Riddler for some reason.
You know what? Yeah,
Obviously
I
not a
could agree with that.
Riddler movie.
He's gonna have to get into a
But-
villain movie, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I could see that. Totally agree.
Because my favorite movie from him, I enjoyed Signs, but my favorite movie has been The Village. I really like that movie.
Wow, I've never heard that, Josue.
Well, as far as that being someone's favorite movie by him,
Yeah, you know which mine's probably Sixth Sense.
oh, Sixth Sense is great.
One of his sorry about that. One of his like I guess that wouldn't be his first one, but that was his like breakout one. Dude, that was so good.
No, that's definitely one of his better films. Definitely.
You guys remember that movie? Was it Lady in the Water?
Yes,
that was also
that was
one of his
another one.
movies too.
Lady in the Water. When did
It was
that
an
come out?
older one. Mid 2000s for sure.
Oh, I
The
do
movie that-
remember that. It's been a while. I do remember that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that, but I know it was like an odd movie. But one of my favorite movies from him is Signs. Signs scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Definitely. We get a young Joaquin Phoenix in that movie.
Oh yeah, young.
No, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting the way his movies are kind of graded. I mean, they don't get the biggest praise, but the what they're based on, it's pretty cool. It has a lot of meaning behind it, and it's very. It's not your typical movie that you see. It's always gonna stand out from its colleagues, his other movies that are around that time frame when they release. But yeah, this movie's looks like it's gonna end up being Kevin Wendell Crumb from Split versus Bruce Willis's character David Dunn. I guess they're gonna close it out with him trying to defeat Kevin's character from Split.
I think so. Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how they could really play out this movie. You have these three characters, two from Unbreakable and one from Split. And then how the story's going to close out. I mean, we didn't really get a whole, like, what the stakes are, like, if he doesn't defeat Kevin's character, I'm going to assume he escaped somehow, but they were all in prison. It's going to be like some type of Suicide Squad where they hire Bruce Willis's character to hunt down Crumb's character. I don't know. It looks good.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. From what I got from that trailer, it looked like Mr. Glass and Kevin were going to team up and go against Bruce Willis's character. So, I mean, that could be a possibility in the movie as well.
So with Glass, his character he's obviously influenced by comic books, right? But is he more of a like because I've never seen the first one. Is he more of like a he can see into the future, or what's his skill, I guess?
Oh, Glass more has more of a he's a genius actually. She was saying some kind of high IQ he had, but he's also kind of that bridge that we have from comic book to reality. He sees things not everyone pays attention to.
Okay, okay. So he has more of a he has a fixed scope on how certain things work. He's good at pinpointing stuff.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
I mean, she even addresses his IQ, dude. You can see him, but they didn't really address it before, because it was very all we knew is he bombed a whole bunch of things to get Bruce Willis out. Spoiler alert. But but yeah, so she kind of says, well, you have a extremely high IQ. His bones break really easily, but he also has this in-depth knowledge about how these heroes have been hiding amongst society forever, and villains.
all right.
I
Yeah,
think
so
there's
I'm
potential for. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that there's potential for spin-off movies from this kind of trilogy later on, especially with the whole concept that there's more, I guess, metahumans is what you can call them,
Mhm.
that there's out there. So I see the movie kind of ending
Open-ended.
open-endedly with, letting you think that there's going to be more heroes out there, more stories to tell and stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be some crazy shit if the survivor of Split is actually something like them?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they show bringing the girl back that he captured in the first movie
Mm-hmm.
as maybe a beacon of like remembering stuff. I don't know. We'll see what her character, what her role is in this movie.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to die. I mean, considering Glass is the oldest character, I think, in this movie, Samuel Jackson's character, maybe someone's gonna have to die. And who dies? I mean, if anyone, either Glass himself or Bruce Willis' character. Just
Mhm.
because the Beast, I mean, he's a pretty crazy character that has when he believes he has superpowers,
Yeah,
super
he's
strength.
really, yeah, crazy.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna open up early next year, so definitely be looking forward to that. So this year, Marvel wasn't at Comic-Con. They've decided to be there every other year now, and in this year, it kind of sort of works in their favor only because they released that they didn't want to release any spoilers for Avengers 4. If they were to release a slate of some sort, it would kind of give hints as to
Mhm.
what happens in Avengers 4. But they've already announced that there's already a Spider-Man in the works and already a Black Panther in the works. So that kind of goes against each other when not trying to spoil things. But with that, it was basically Warner Brother Con and DC Con at this Comic Con. We got the trailer for Young Justice. I missed the first season. I don't know if there was two seasons, but I'm gonna have to catch up with that because that show looks pretty cool. It looks a little more of a adult style cartoon, especially them not being
Mhm.
on Cartoon Network anymore. They have more room to work with.
Yeah.
But for live action, we got the Titans trailer, which is going to be launching DC's DC Universe subscription service. What'd y'all think on that trailer?
So, like with me, I kind of got like a CW vibe off of that.
Okay.
Um, it looks good. It's a little darker than the cartoon Teen Titans back on Cartoon Network back then.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I'm iffy about it. I mean, I hope it's good and whatnot, but there's something about it that I can't put my finger on that kind of turns me off about it.
Is there something you kind of did like? Like, okay, that's kind of cool, or
Um, Robin seems pretty cool. I liked
Mhm.
his kind of character concepts.
Mhm.
And I like how he's more of an edgier kind of
Fuck
Robin
Batman.
than yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much. I know.
interesting, right?
Yeah, you gotta wonder what happened. Where we finding him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that gives me kind of the vibe of he's transitioning into more of a Nightwing character now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
He's much more grown and he's more independent. It kind of even looks like he's kind of retired the Robin role and not Starfire, with Raven's character searching for him and trying to bring him back.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me the idea that he's been out of the light for a while now, and he's gonna kind of come back into play and group the Teen Titans together. But what do you think,
Mhm.
Cruz?
So I've kind of spoiled my opinion, but I was listening to Johnny's Corner the other day, and the Starfire character, yeah, I can kind of see it. I don't know how I feel about that one. That's the only one I'm kind of like, I don't know if they did it
Divided on.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really like the fire. That her hair is not going up or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just kind of lost its. I don't know. I'm trying to keep an open mind.
I get you.
I definitely agree with Ryan. The Robin concept is a lot better. It's a little bit more dark, trying to go a little bit more DC with it. But I didn't like Beast either. I didn't think Beast Boy was anything to boast about. It was kind of whack. We haven't seen him transform in anything. I'm kind of worried that they're not showing us because the graphics or CG might be terrible. So I don't know. It might be low budget right now. Maybe DC, later on will add some money into it. But I'd like to see him transform to something so I can actually see. Okay, are they going to take care of this right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm a little skeptical on it, but I'm going to keep an open mind.
Yeah, with this show, one thing you got to keep in mind, it is a TV show. They can only give it so much of a budget.
Funding. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. Robin is definitely the one that stands out the most in this trailer. His suit's very cool. The guy looks to me like he could play a pretty good Robin. Now looking like he's going to be a Nightwing in the future, but in this trailer, I don't feel like they showed a whole lot, especially considering this is the show that's going to launch the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get me as hype as compared to the Young Justice trailer. I don't know, it is very dark, but they also only really showed night scenes in this movie, other than when Raven is talking to Robin in the which
daylight,
looks like almost like a cop, police station or something, which was interesting.
I think that's he might be a cop or something.
Yeah, kind of like in The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, maybe this could be a tying together.
That'd be crazy.
Because Batman left. Batman didn't come back after that. They kind of left it like closed out, and then he's by himself, but he has the Batman, the Batcave.
Oh, how I wish. I don't know why. I mean, obviously knew it was The Dark Knight Rises was the trilogy and the end to it, but it's like I would have loved to seen his character helm the Robin/Batman role. In The Dark Knight Rises. No, but in this show, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's very dividing when watching the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you look at like Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire. With Beast Boy, I think they're just holding off because I don't think they have the CG completely toned up to what they want it to look like.
Yeah.
They can only do so much with it, of course, but I think they're kind of holding off. It's probably still very rough, but the DC Universe does launch, or it's supposed to launch sometime this year, so they're going to have to really expedite that process on the CG.
What I want to know is where's Cyborg at?
Yeah, so we didn't see no Cyborg. They did say that he's supposed to be he's supposed to make an appearance in the Doom Patrol series, which they're planning on releasing.
So they're gonna make a Titan movie without any Cyborg.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
It is. What they're saying is he'll show up in Doom Patrol. We don't know if it's gonna be Ray Fisher's character, which is in the movies. Probably not. It wouldn't make sense because they just don't really do TV shows into movies. They might talk about it, but it's not going to be the exact same character. Just like how Marvel brings up their characters and storylines in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
they call it the event or something. There's always a word they use. They don't really say it.
Yeah, they don't specify.
They always just say it was the event or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to be subscribing to the DC universe, just because they're going to have their entire catalog of comic books and original movies. And
I think a reason why people don't really have a good perception on the Titans is because they're so used to the cartoon show back in Cartoon Network from like 2004 or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
but like Cruz was saying, he's going in with an open mind, and I think that
We got to see how they handle it. You know, it's
Yeah.
just it's weird transitioning from cartoons to live animation.
yeah,
It's always something you got to get past. You know,
Mhm.
There's
they're
a
too
lot.
funny.
There's a
They're
lot
getting-
people expect.
Yeah.
After the Teen Titans show, not Go, but the regular Teen Titans show, it had several seasons, and once people get comfortable with the way some characters act, they expect that
It's-
into a live action role, which
Mhm.
is not always going to match. It's similar to like a book, for example. It's just not going to be the same. You just have so much more room to work with a cartoon, with transformations, the way characters move and talk, just a whole lot of things that are much different when adapting it. But when I ask people and they say the trailer looks so dark and edgy, that is true. But what did you want from a Teen Titans show?
yeah,
Like it's not going to be too kiddie because then they're completely opposite from what they are in the comic books.
Mhm.
And then if they're completely dark, then obviously is an issue. So I think they didn't do a good job establishing what these kind of characters are going to be doing. They just kind of give us like a highlight reel almost. That's what it felt like.
yeah,
A highlight reel of these characters and not much of what the story is and where these characters are kind of be set. I mean, Beast Boy, we just get a shot of Beast Boy jumping from a building and then
Yeah.
Starfire kind of doing some flamethrower type of deal with her hands. So I don't know, the trailer was fine. It didn't get me hyped for the DC universe. I'm gonna check it out because it's gonna be on
Mhm.
there. But it was kind of underwhelming. I'll say it was an underwhelming trailer.
yeah. So I have a question for you guys.
Mhm.
It's gonna backtrack a bit, but with Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
had he brought in Harley Quinn in the Dark Knight, how do you think he would have had her portrayed?
Hmm.
I mean, you already fucked up Catwoman. Nah, well, I wouldn't say fuck.
So because Nolan, he specifically said he wanted to take a more realistic approach to this comic book character, and you
Mhm.
obviously see that in all three of his movies. It's more of a grounded superhero with more real world scenario lifestyles and choices. I mean, he's driving a Lamborghini. Um, I don't know. It would have been interesting. I think he would have. You know what? He did a good job portraying Scarecrow. It was
Yeah, I was just thinking.
very.
I thought about that too.
It was
Yeah.
very comic book accurate. He had his spray that he uses to
His fear toxin.
his fear toxin to turn their perception into something else, which was
Mhm.
pretty comic book accurate. His mask looked pretty cool. I liked his mask. I don't know. I think he would have made her more of a man.
It would have
I'm
started
not
off
sure.
the same type as Scarecrow. Scarecrow, they were both psychiatrists at
Mhm.
one point, and then Harley met Joker. So I would imagine she would go transition from Scarecrow's character, the doctor psychiatrist, to something like Joker
Mhm.
at the who was played by R.I.P. Heath Ledger. But he would have come out. She would have come out looking like I don't know, one of those. I don't know. Never mind. But she would have come out looking a little something like Joker, I would imagine.
Yeah, something not over the top, I would assume.
No, she's gonna look sketchy because Joker looked like
Yeah.
he smelled.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt she was something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what she would look like, but I think he would have gone for the comic book approach, but more of a humanized quote unquote outfit for her.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think it would have been like the Suicide Squad one. Maybe similar, but more toned down a bit. I think
Yeah.
just to kind of keep
Yeah.
it all in a again more realistic tone.
Yeah, I like Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. What I wasn't too fond of was her attire.
Mm.
I felt like that was kind of more over the top than what it could have been. I know
Yeah,
now in the comics they're kind of getting a little bit more
closer to that.
towards that direction.
Hmm.
But like for the Injustice games, like you see how Harley Quinn is kind of that's her attire in the game and stuff like that. Like if they had something like that in the movie, I think that
Yeah,
would be
more of a biker look, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting why they decided to have her in that outfit for Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
Obviously it wouldn't have looked right if she wore her traditional black and red
Hmm.
cartoon outfit that they kind of hinted at in the movie. But if they gave her more of a, again, like a biker style, maybe some biker type pants and biker boots. I don't know. It's just the outfit. It was interesting. The choice. Every character in Suicide Squad, they made Killer Croc more of a gangster style character.
Hmm.
If anyone was the closest to comic book accurate, I think it would be like Deadshot.
Yeah.
His helmet was pretty cool. His outfit was cool. Katana looked very comic book accurate as well.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I
And
think
it wasn't too over the top either. It was,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
most of them were very toned down.
yeah.
Other
And I
than, I
mean,
mean, even the Joker, they made him
I
more.
actually liked the Joker.
Did you?
I thought
Okay.
yeah, I thought it was the gangster style. Okay, sure, he's a little mentally unstable, but I like how they did it. It wasn't too crazy. And if you look at past Jokers, Heath Ledger's
Hmm.
and what's the actor that did the
Jack Nicholson.
not well that one too, but the one that just did
Oh, Jared Leto.
Squad. Yeah, Jared Leto. Jared Leto and Heath Ledger Jokers. I would say Jared Leto's was a lot more, I don't know, just more realistic and something you might see like a gangster kingpin, a little crazy, off centered. I mean, Ledger's was just that, I don't know, it was a whole nother level. I would say Ledger's probably my favorite Joker, but yeah, I don't know why I got into that.
No, I mean, when people, I mean, the comparison is obviously going to happen, right? It's just going to. When you look at Jared Leto's Joker, though, in the movie, he only got maybe at most 5 minutes of complete screen time.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't get enough time to establish him as a character or kind of get a feel for his character. Now, what I didn't like is how flashy they made him. I didn't like how flashy they made him, and the tattoos they gave him, especially on his forehead, that was not
A
really
little much.
necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little much.
But again, when I always tell people is when they're comparing them is if we give him more time on screen and for him to play out the character the way he wants to, I think he can be established as a very well Joker in this universe.
Mhm.
Just especially considering, I mean, whether you like Jared Leto or not, okay, but he's an Oscar-winning actor
Hmm.
and he has a lot of potential. I liked him in Blade Runner 2049. I think he has a lot of potential to be the Joker, and obviously Heath Ledger's Joker portrayal is very iconic. It, I don't. It's gonna be tough to top that, but I think Jared Leto has the potential to get close to that at least, and
Yeah.
I think deserves more credit than when he gets. I think. But yeah, if there's a lot of costume changes they need to fix within the Suicide Squad and villains because other than that, I mean, I think they've done a pretty decent job with their costumes. I mean, does a very good job with their costume design. But anyways, um, we can talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Um,
Now
I,
I know Josue wants to talk about.
well, we'll talk about Shazam first. So we'll
All
get
right.
into
Leaving the best for
Shazam.
last.
Shazam to me was kind of a shocker. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this. Um, just because when they casted Zachary Levi from Chuck for this role, I was like, okay,
I didn't see it.
let
I didn't
me.
see it.
Oh, when they casted him,
Yeah, I just couldn't see it. I don't know if that. I was gonna. Just to let you know, cut to the chase. But I was surprised by the trailer, and I'm actually excited about this movie, and I think it's gonna be a really good hit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was kind of. I don't know about that Chuck character, but I think I can see why they picked him.
yeah.
He's gonna.
When I watched the trailer, or
Uh huh.
before I watched the trailer going into, I was like, let me give him a chance. Let me see
Yeah.
what DC saw in Zachary Levi. Apparently, more than 200 people auditioned for this role.
Okay. Dang.
So
Do we
for
have
them
any? Do we
to
have any of the names? Do we have any like high dollar names that well like
no, I don't. They didn't release any names, and I
they
don't
didn't
think they
release? I would be
wanted to.
curious. Yeah,
That would have been
I'd be
interesting.
curious to see who could have who it could have been. You know.
Definitely. I mean, when looking at Zachary Levi's character, you don't see that big buff guy that you see in the comic and animated movies. Much more
Mhm.
huskier version of Shazam or Captain Marvel. After looking at the trailer, though, it's gonna kind of be like how it ended up being in Han Solo, right? The guy did not look like the character, but the way he acted did such a good job to convince you that he is fulfilling at least the character's characteristics.
Yeah, the persona.
And I think that's what Zachary Levi's gonna be good at. When I watch interviews on that happened this past weekend at Comic Con, I mean, he has such a kid style behavior. He's very
Hmm.
active, very hyper almost. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna do a solid job in this movie, and I'm very looking forward to it. What they didn't do is show us a lot of VFX and any action. I
Hmm.
think they're obviously still working on it because they're supposed to have the seven deadly sins in this movie as well. So that's gonna be interesting the way they pull that off. And then we see Mark Strong's character, which is Doctor Sylvana. Which, if you don't know who he is, he's basically a character that got denied Shazam's powers from the wizard and is now trying to get those powers in some way. And he's, in the comic books at least, he's able to see magic in real time. So that's going to be interesting. But what do you think, Ryan?
Um, I know I told you earlier back before. Um, the movie looks cool. The trailer looked really cool. I think this is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of style, where it was like a
Mhm.
sleeper hit, where people weren't really too familiar
Yeah,
with it, and then they see it
definitely.
and they like the movie and whatnot. I had told you a while back too that the costume looks kind of tacky to me, but I
Mhm.
just need to give it a chance. It looks kind of.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah,
It
it kind
looks
of looked
like.
tacky, but I'm gonna give it a chance. Like, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
If y'all
it
could
looks like one of those Halloween costumes, with the built-in muscles and stuff like that.
if y'all could change one thing on it, what would you kind of like to change on it?
There's no dude in life who looks like that, and that's what we have to get past. It's the muscle thing, dude. I don't know. It just doesn't. It looks like my mom put it together for my Halloween costume. You know,
Yeah.
like it looks over exaggerated. But
Okay.
I'm giving it a chance. But like the characters are good. I think Billy Batson, he just played. I mean, it just looks like Billy. Honestly, like I was like, wow, that
Yeah,
looks.
definitely.
Yeah, it looks like him. Same kind of character. And then Shazam, even kind of the same. I could give it a chance just because it's a kid with big powers, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, definitely, there's nothing bad I could say about it. I'm gonna say I'm totally like positive for this movie, and I think it's gonna be the next hit, just like what Ryan was saying. Guardian Sleeper.
Yeah. So, fun fact for you guys: did you know that Levi was Fandral in Thor Ragnarok in the Dark World? He was part of the Warriors 3.
No.
He was in Guardians. He was. I don't remember seeing him exactly because he's probably covered up and stuff.
Who did he play?
But I
He
heard
played
about that. I heard about that.
Fandral from the Warriors 3 from Thor Dark World and Ragnarok.
Oh, you know what? I didn't watch Dark World.
Oh, you didn't watch Dark World?
Mm-mm.
What does he look like?
Only movies I didn't
Um,
watch.
you ever play the game Soul Calibur?
No.
Okay. Well, basically, he's the guy that kind of looks like a little
That's
bit
him.
like Prince Charming. Yeah.
Holy crap! Yeah, I saw him. He died in Ragnarok.
Yeah, he got killed by Hela.
Wait, what's his name?
That's crazy.
Fandral?
Yeah, that was when she came back. He was like, "Who are you?" And then Hella iced him in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, neither did I.
Wow,
Like,
very
fun
cool.
fact.
Wow, look, Ryan's already paying for himself right here.
No, what's interesting about his suit is I'm not a big fan of the lightning bolt lighting up like an LED, It looks kind of strange.
Yeah, I can agree.
I
Back
wish
to
it
the
would have
techie costume.
stayed. I don't know. It's just too bright. Maybe it could still light up, but it's just too bright. It looks like a. It's just too bright, man. The way it lights up on his face, I don't mind the gauntlets shining. That looks cool. It's just the lightning bolt is just strange. The
You got to
size,
give it a chance, bro.
yeah, no, definitely. Um, the size I know was kind of an issue with a lot of people, and I heard they made it that size, or the director said they made it that size because moving around in the suit with a big lightning bolt that's essentially like plastic with other type of material, it's kind of hard to move with.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know how entirely true that is, just because I mean I'm sure they would, if they wanted to, they would find a way.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, I mean, his costume is totally to character, to canon.
No, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely the
nothing
cape.
nothing standing out. The cape, everything. It looks good, man. I'm that's one of my personal favorites is Captain Marvel and Shazam/Shazam. But it looks good. I'm not disappointed. So I mean, I don't know. As a fan of Shazam, yeah, this is a good costume. But
What's
I can
so
see what you say. It's a little bright.
what's so weird about his suit though is when you see close up pictures from the suit. A lot of people they had these suits on display at Comic-Con,
Mhm.
and when they show the close ups, I mean it has that detail similar to Henry Cavill's Superman suit.
Yeah,
I j-
the stitching.
yeah, the stitching and the
Yes.
pattern. I,
Yeah.
I just think it's that color. The red just doesn't allow you to the camera to capture all the detail in the suit, which makes it look
Mhm.
very soft, almost very cloth like.
Yeah.
Whereas Henry Cavill suit looks very metallic, very solid. I just think it's the red, man. I think it's the red that's kind of not allowing the camera to capture properly the texture on the suit. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna take a lot of getting used to. But honestly, I do think, from what I've seen, I think Zachary's gonna be able to capture Captain Marvel's or Shazam's character very well, and it's just that the image that we've been always comfortable seeing is a very wide, very husky Shazam, where this is more of a
Yeah, real thick
uh,
at the neck, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, more
But
slim version of him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very
but
looking.
it even comes back to the whole rumors about The Rock going to be playing Black Adam, which is Marvel's biggest nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what happened to that? That's what my question was. Is like,
No,
where
what's
did all the
definitely still
talk go?
it's definitely still happening.
Is that like going to be like a second addition to the series or?
Yeah, what they're wanting to do, which is kind of strange, is they want to make a Black Adam movie,
Mhm.
Huh.
which goes along with I do and don't like. What I do like
Well,
is that DC is starting to make movies about villains. No one's
yeah,
ever really done that. Marvel's
yeah,
definitely never done that. It's
yeah,
just been on the hero side, and then the villains are in the movie. Whereas if you see a villain's perspective, like we're getting the Joker movie next year, that's
yeah.
gonna be very cool. I hope, especially for the Joker movie, which we can talk on about in the future, but or even soon here. But yeah, they want to make a movie for Black Adam. Um,
Interesting. And I don't
again,
know. You know his story by chance, Josue?
not entirely.
It might actually pan out to be a really good movie. He was originally obviously Shazam's, the wizard's choice for Shazam, and he did something wrong and he exiled. So I think he sent him to some like faraway region, and he finally just got back.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting to see how he lost his the respect of the wizard.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then whereas Mark Strong's character wasn't worthy enough of the wizard's blessing.
Dude, wizard's just pissing off all kinds of
Yeah.
people.
And
Yeah.
what'd y'all think about the wizard?
I didn't see a face. Did you see a face? Like I thought it was kind of cool though how they did it. Kind of again, it kind of keeps to the comics, like that same, like it was cool how they did it. Just like that whole image you see of all the chairs there for each. I believe it represents Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. So those are all their seats, and then
That was
Shazam's in the
very
middle.
that was very well done.
Yeah, I thought it
Good
was really
job.
cool. And
No, what's interesting about the wizard's character is that 2 to 3 weeks ago they recasted the wizard.
what?
So we had who was playing him first was Ron Cephas Jones. He has now been recasted with I'm gonna say Digimon Ha- Hansu,
Mm.
Digimon Hansu, who if you look him up, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Damn, another one from
Um,
Guardians. Dude, we're having a lot of
so
crossovers.
what's interesting
Yeah.
is I wonder if they're gonna reshoot that one scene to have him in that role. Um,
What role did he play in Guardians?
he played. I'll let you know right now. He played Korath the Punisher.
Part 1 or 2?
Part one.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, well, it's just interesting that they showed the wizard in this trailer, and I just think they didn't show a face for that very reason, because it would have been two different characters.
I know we got a small acting pool, as crazy as it sounds. So many actors, but like, remember we talked about in
Mm.
Ant-Man how we had Lawrence Fishburne crossover from being Perry from the Superman series. The
Yeah,
Oh,
editor of the World Planet, or what's it called, Daily Planet.
Daily Planet.
Daily Planet.
And then they had a slight to him. I don't know if Ryan knew about that, but they had tip of the hat was you can actually see the Daily Planet trophy in his office.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like, where they're crossing lines. These kind of people are crossing lines and doing work for both studios.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was definitely again, I didn't go into it with a lot of expectations, but it definitely blew those expectations, and I'm looking forward to it. And it looks like it's doing very well with a lot of other people. A lot of people are excited for it, which is again a shocker.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying this is gonna be DC's first Marvel style film.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. And when we were talking about this during the Ant-Man episode, I told Cruz is that there's always room or space for jokes in a certain time frame of a movie, but not entirely. And with
Yeah.
Shazam's character, that's what he's known for. He's the big red cheese. It's a
Yeah.
Nice.
it's a kid in a superhero.
Cheese.
It's a kid that gets to play a superhero. And for this movie to be this lighthearted, it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of worried. Me personally, again, I've told Cruz is I'm not a big fan of a lot of comedy in a movie, right? And I'm
Yeah,
aware that this character will be that comedic role. I just don't. I hope it's not too much. I hope
Yeah.
it's not too much to where you're like, all right, let's keep it going, right?
Yeah.
But I think it might head that route, and I think I might just have to get used to that. But
Mhm.
for this specific character, which I'm looking forward to, yeah. So it was a very shocking trailer as far as I was surprised of what they delivered, and knowing that they're still working on the VFX. I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm. So, Korath, the pursuer, is actually the guy from the first Guardians movie, in the very beginning, who kind of captures Star-Lord in that little temple
Mm-hmm.
when he's getting the orb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he also comes out in Never Back Down 2.
It sounds just like him, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so they're gonna change that. Like, it already. I don't know. They know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of back and
For the
forth. I
most
mean, a lot
part.
of these actors, I think they obviously the check is nice, but they just want to have their foot in different roles. You know, you don't want to be set on, oh, I'm now locked down to Marvel. I can't play another character. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you were like Robert Downer Jr. Downer Jr. Jr. Sorry, and Evans, Captain America, all those big roles. Probably there's gonna be some type of conflict there. You know, Marvel's gonna step in or DC's gonna step in and say, "All right, we can't do that." But for these smaller roles like Lauren Fishburne, there's some leeway there to work with, especially them being not that big of a role in these movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then
Yeah, I
the
am too.
oh, go ahead, Ron.
Kind of the first time that I saw the trailer, I was a little sketchy about it, but watching it again, it looks kind of good. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's saying it's the big of DC with Tom Hanks plays the kid.
oh yeah,
It's similar, but obviously all the comic books have been. He's always been like this, right? It's not DC trying to be like Marvel. It's not DC trying to add more jokes into their movies. Sure, might want to. They thought of, okay, maybe we might have to take a more lighter heart approach to these movies, but it's not them trying to be something. It's them showcasing the way this character is meant to, and I think a lot of people are glad DC's kind of not entirely transforming these characters into kind of the Zack Snyder effect
Yeah.
that happened. But now it looks like they're kind of slowly getting past that, but still keeping some of their formula.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
After that was the biggest star of Comic Con, and the biggest trailer we got at Comic Con was the Aquaman trailer. We get a big glimpse at to Arthur Curry's character, played by Jason Momoa, Aquaman. We get to see a lot of characters in this trailer. We get to see Aquaman, we see Mera, we see Atlanta, played by Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
We get to see Ocean Master, played by Patrick Wilson, which is one of James Wan's favorite actors to work with. We get Black Manta in this trailer, played by Yaya, which looks great. And then, yeah, we had a lot of characters in this trailer. We also we get a small glimpse at Willem Dafoe in this movie as well. He is playing Nudius Vocal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this trailer was epic, man. What'd y'all think?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty cool. It feels a lot different from how you saw Aquaman in Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to Batman versus Superman towards the very end of the movie, introduced into Aquaman, I wasn't too big on how it looked like underwater for him.
Yeah.
But with James Wan, how he has it now,
mm-hmm.
It looks a lot better. It looks more, I don't want to say natural, but it looks
like it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Exactly.
Yeah.
But Black Manta, man, I'm excited for Black Manta.
That looked crazy. That scene, he just tearing down that bell tower or whatever the hell he shot it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he looks straight out of the comic books. They just ripped them out and redesigned them for live action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks really good. I don't know.
What'd you think, Cruz?
So, like, of course, this thing's taking a CG. This is like getting a CG guy really hard right now. But that whole trailer, man, is just CG on CG, man. It looks glorious. It looked awesome. We're gonna see we're seeing a huge war now. I can't even describe the scale, but yeah, it's huge. We're watching the Atlanteans, go against each other, whatever civil war they're fighting right now.
Mm-hmm.
But visually, it was amazing. Like, I liked the colors. I did notice. Did she always have red hair? Amanda Heard.
She had it in Justice League.
She did, right?
It was just more toned down. It had that what people call the Snyder filter over it.
Yeah, it was more toned down. Like, damn, now it's fiery red hair.
Yeah, it's very bright.
I do enjoy that she's gonna be part of the DC strong females we have. She's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see Aquaman's story, see what happens. His coming of age, I guess. Taking over the mantle as King of Atlantis.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. It was a good trailer. Can't wait.
I think timeline wise, it takes place after Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is gonna be interesting for them to kind of clear up some stuff that happened. Especially coming from the Justice League movie, which was very underwhelming, especially for a team-up movie that features some of the most iconic pop culture characters in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think James Wan's going to be able to pull it off. This trailer was epic. I mean, it brings everything the Aquaman character should have been established as. Like you mentioned, Ryan, in BVS, the way they show off Aquaman's character in that footage from whoever was investigating him, he just looked like a fish that was kind of barely learning how to swim and stuff. He was like super shy and like hiding away in a boat. It was just weird the way they established him.
Yeah.
And then in Justice League, the way they had him, he didn't contribute a lot to the team.
Mm-hmm.
He, other than saving them from that water that was coming into the tunnel, he was very underwhelming in Justice League as well. He didn't show off a lot of his powers. What I find interesting though is that what I've read, and this is very recent, is that Zack Snyder toned down a lot of these characters in order for them to have room to build them in future movies. So like Superman, for example, we now had transitioned into a more hopeful Superman. With
Yeah.
Aquaman, we've never really seen anything of Atlantis. And what's interesting is James Wan actually said that in an interview, he specifically reached out to Zack Snyder to prevent from showing a lot of Atlantis in the Justice League movie
Yeah.
because he wanted the audience to see Atlantis for the first time the same way Jason Momoa does in the Aquaman movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Justice League, everyone knows, was just very underwhelming. It was entertainment at some points, but it just wasn't there entirely. But
Yeah.
this trailer does a good job starting the engine again. It gets the wheels back on track. I think DC again is starting to see what they've done wrong and what they needed to focus on.
So do you think this is going to redefine, origin stories? Because this is essentially Aquaman's origin movie.
Well, with DC, they've always been strong with their origin movies. I thought Man of Steel personally was a pretty solid movie. Then we
Wonder
had
Woman was fantastic.
yeah. Then we had Wonder Woman, which was great, and now we're having Aquaman's origin story, and then we're gonna be having Shazam's origin story. And I think that's what DC needs to focus on. No matter how much they wanted to get on level with the MCU, I think they just needed to establish their characters first, and I think that really hurt them when trying to rush these team up movies that we had no established characters, and then
Yeah, try to
within the
compete with
movies
Marvel.
they were trying to establish them, and it just doesn't work out. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
So this trailer, with Aquaman, I think they're gonna really put their foot down and show the world that they are capable of making a good film.
Yeah.
I think the stakes are going to be high. We see Ocean Master. He is established as someone who wants to have war with the surface dwellers. In one of the articles that I read is that Ocean Master is upset about the pollution and other stuff that has been happening to the ocean.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be his motivation for this movie. He's just upset by all of that. A lot of people are comparing this to Black Panther as well as Thor as far as the brother feud that's happening. Sure, it's similar, but again, this has always been in the comic books, right? There's always been that brother feud.
Yeah, there's always been family drama.
It's kind of similar to Black Panther, but in this movie, the antagonist is the one that's currently in the throne, and the protagonist is the one that's trying to get into that throne, whereas Black Panther was the opposite.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I mean, this movie has me on hook. I mean, I cannot wait for this movie to come out in December. We only got one DC movie this year, which kind of sucked, but it sucked that we had to only have one movie this year. But I'm excited. I liked the CG. A lot of people say there's so much CG. Well, duh.
Yeah.
How do you expect them to have Atlantis and an underworld without CG? The only real issue I had with this trailer, or not issue, but the thing that stood out was at the very beginning where they showed the little kid in the aquarium.
That was cool.
The shark that hits the glass wall, that CG to me looks very rough. I think they might have just fairly shot that scene. I think what they started off was I think they started off with the grown Atlantis and Jason Momoa stuff, and I think they shot the kid much sooner. So I think they're gonna be working on that, obviously. But they think they did a good job establishing this movie, and I think it has a lot of hype now. We saw the stakes, we saw the characters. This movie has a great cast. A great cast. I mean, they have Nicole Kidman and Willem Dafoe, some very good actors. But yeah, I loved everything about this trailer. The action.
So what is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So one of the things that I'm excited about Aquaman is the fact that James Wan, he's very well known for also horror movies.
Right.
And I know he's gonna put some sort of horror element into Aquaman with the trench. And like for those that don't know who the trench are, they're basically people who were living inside the dark depths of the ocean, the pressure and all that stuff.
The forgotten Atlanteans.
Yeah, basically. So I'm excited to see what he does with the trench and see like what kind of horror element he brings to that, because
Definitely.
you know people are afraid of what's down in the ocean, and I mean it's kind of interesting to see what kind of horrors are way down there.
Yeah, it's almost like a space movie. We've never been
Yeah.
there, and when we see a movie about that, it's so unexpected and it's very cool to see what's out there. It's gonna be same with the ocean. Not a lot of people know what's down there entirely, and
Hmm.
seeing James Wan's horror take on it is gonna be very cool. And even in the trailer, we got a very cool shot with Amber Heard and Jason Momoa jumping off a boat, and you see the
Oh
trench
yeah.
chasing them, and then that underwater shot was just epic. You see the entire trench surrounding them with the flare being held by Aquaman.
Yeah.
Great shot in the trailer.
Yep.
And then that very last scene where it shows them having like a gladiator style fight, that was just epic. It shows
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ocean Master riding that crocodile slash shark thing at the
Oh,
end.
takes out whoever that was.
Yeah, dude. So I'm excited. Black Manta looks great. The action of what we saw looks great. The CG for what it is right now, it's been in production and post production for a while, so I'm sure it's been cleaned up quite a bunch. But they still have, I mean, 4 or 5 months till December to even polish that even more. So I don't think the CG will be any issue in this movie. And if anyone argues that it's what's funny about it is that the same CG company that's doing this for Aquaman is the same company that did it for Infinity War.
Oh shit.
So what's so funny is that like when all the YouTube trolls in the comments that keep saying the CG's bad just to say it's bad, and then
You
when
saw
someone
that
replies to them
Marvel
saying it's the same company that did Infinity War, it just shuts them down so quick, and it's funny.
fucking idiots.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think this is gonna quote unquote revive the light in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
They really needed this movie, and I hope they build on top of this. I hope that Shazam. It looks great. I'm very happy with the trailer for Shazam. I hope they execute it well. I think they will. The director for Shazam is one of James Wan's close friends, and he directed Lights Out. If you watch Lights Out, so I think even he will bring a more horror aspect to that film. So I think DC's headed in a good direction. After that, I mean, we'll have Wonder Woman, and then we're gonna be having that Joker standalone film,
Hmm.
which is gonna be interesting. Which is rumored to have Robert De Niro in that movie as well. So it's starting to look like a promising Joker film as well.
Yeah.
Um, which is
I'm
gonna
kind
be
of glad that DC is kind of, because I know DC is now going in the direction for more solo movies and more team up movies.
definitely.
So I'm kind of glad that they kind of realize that they're trying to rush stuff and it's not coming out the best. So I'm happy that they're taking their time with solo movies and actually develop the character and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
that was the biggest issue: character development and establish someone, although the audience might already be familiar with, could at least
mhm. For like
understand their motivations in the
for
films.
like a casual viewer.
Exactly, exactly. Because if you get a character, if you're a casual moviegoer and you expect the character to get character development in a movie and it doesn't happen, you're just gonna be like, "What's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
Just like any movie, if a character's just there without any type of motivation or back history of what their motivations lead up to be, it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, I agree. I'm glad they're doing this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it was a pretty good Comic Con. The only underwhelming thing is that they didn't announce any other movies other than these three trailers. Like they didn't announce no official slate for future movies.
Yeah.
They have announced they're gonna be doing like a Birds of Prey, which is gonna be cool. They announced that Joker movie, but no word on the Batman movie, no word on Man of Steel, no word on a Flash movie either. And that's kind of shocking. With the DC EU and just DC, what they should have done is I have no problem with them making movies about characters other than the main like Justice League core members,
Mhm.
but they should have started with the core members first, because it would have been like a animated show. You have your main characters established, and then once you start
Mhm.
getting like the side character movies, it's like, all right, we're gonna now be able to see the side characters. Where
Yeah.
like if you're ignoring the main characters but getting the side characters, is like I kind of want to see the main characters first. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting in the way they're doing that, but I hope we get news about a Man of Steel movie because I would love to see a new Man of Steel movie, preferably against Brainiac. That would be great. And then
Mm.
Batman. I mean, Batman's all over the place. Ben Affleck's leaving, he's staying, he's leaving, he's staying. What do y'all think about Ben Affleck, the Batflick?
I don't know. I thought he was a good Batman, but now he can't decide whether he wants to stay in the pool or get out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Me personally, I loved him. I loved Ben Affleck as Batman, especially it was more like a grittier kind of something you weren't really used to. You know, you had
Mhm.
Michael Keaton and things like that.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Val
was
Kilmer.
another one. We're coming from the Christian Bale era.
Yeah, Christian.
He was. I thought Ben Affleck was a little bit more closer to the animated series, to be honest.
Yeah.
The one I'm used to, the cartoon. So like I don't know, he just had that same build and had that same characteristics. And that's what I liked.
Yeah,
And
he's
I know
definitely.
it's a.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
He's definitely the closest we've gotten to a true Batman character. Husky, isn't afraid to fight, unlike Christian Bale's character. But in Justice League, he looked very he's ready to retire. He looked like he doesn't have it in him anymore. He looked beat up and he's ready to pass the gauntlet onto someone else. I don't know.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed him in BVS. I loved him in BVS. That warehouse scene was just epic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like that from past Batmans. If he were to leave, I wouldn't be completely upset by it. I wish we would have continued to see the Batman we got in BVS. But if he leaves, he leaves, and we need younger casted members.
Yeah.
Because if DC wants to have sequels of characters like Wonder Woman now, we need to have more younger characters. And I think Ben Affleck's the only casted member of the Justice League that's kind of getting to that age where maybe
It's too old for this shit.
future sequels isn't in the plan.
Yeah. You knock him out early or do something different.
And that's why what
would be pretty cool is if they kind of keep Bruce Wayne as a character inside the DCEU and they move towards a Batman Beyond. So they can have like Bruce Wayne still kind of having some kind of, pull in the Justice League and stuff like that. But he has, what was the character's name from Batman Beyond?
Man, it's been a while. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah. So like, if they had something like that, like Ben Affleck doesn't necessarily have to be Batman, but he can kind of be in that Alfred role, in that kind of older, more seasoned Batman training somebody else to take over the mantle. That would be a way that DC could go. That'd be pretty cool. Just to kind of keep the continuity, and you won't have a brand new Bruce Wayne coming in the next movie,
and then still trying to be the Bruce Wayne and Batman. I see. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love Batman Beyond. That was my favorite cartoon back in the day. So I would love to see that in the future for sure. But yeah, we got some good trailers this week. I'm very excited. I think my personal favorite was either or it was definitely Aquaman, and then second to that would be Godzilla, and then Shazam, Glass, and then Titans.
One of the ones that I'm excited for, I completely forgot about, the return of Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
I never really kept up with that show, but I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. I might have to rewatch it. I think it's still on Netflix, maybe.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that just because it's very canon to the live action Star Wars movies they're doing. Yeah, that trailer was very cool though. Actually, Ryan, since you've been probably keeping up with that show, who was that girl at the end that turned around at the very end of the trailer?
So that, my friend, is Ahsoka Tano. Sorry. She is basically Anakin's Padawan throughout the Clone Wars. It's kind of weird because if you follow like the Jedi Order and the Jedi Code and stuff like that, Anakin was never a master, which was kind of the conflict in episode 3, which is kind of what led him to resent the Jedi Order and whatnot. So in the Clone Wars, he's technically a master, but he's not because he has a Padawan. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just kind of this whole thing where it kind of leads into Rebels also, and I've never really seen Rebels just because I don't like the art style of that show, but I should give it a shot. I heard it's pretty good, but the Clone Wars was all pre-Disney, except for this new season that's coming out. So what had happened was that when Disney bought out Star Wars, they kind of just canned the Clone Wars, and that's what made fans upset because they kind of just left it in the air, like cliffhangers and things like that. Yeah. So that's why I'm excited for the Clone Wars to come back. It's a really good show.
Yeah. Is it gonna air on Cartoon Network again? I forgot what they said it's gonna air on.
This one's supposed to be with Disney streaming service.
Oh, that is right. So yeah, Disney's gonna be having their streaming service.
Yeah,
Disney and DC now. A lot of streaming services.
Man.
Gonna be running out of money.
Yeah, seriously, that's what it is, man. They're gonna talk.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah. I'll definitely be signing up, but oh well.
I'm gonna get that trial version.
Yeah. Try it out for 14 days. But I think that's gonna do it for this Comic-Con episode 2018. Next we will be reviewing and discussing Mission Impossible Fallout, which comes out tomorrow. So we will be talking about that, and episode should be released sometime next week. Other than that, where can they find you guys at on social media?
It's gonna be Cruiser6112. Aaron, the main attraction cruise. Just drop me a couple lines, and we can check out some stuff you're interested in.
Yeah, and for me, you guys can find me on Twitter at Rylo, RYEELOO. That's my Twitter. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask me.
What's your sign? ASL.
ASL.
Sex location, right?
Any sex location.
You can find me. Oh, go ahead.
My Instagram also too is the same thing. Just add an extra O at the end. That's where you can find me.
You can find me on Twitter at Video Josue. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Entry4One. If there is any topics you would like for us to potentially talk about, you can feel free to message us and we will consider it. Other than that, you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Play Music. You can just search Entry4One. Other than that, thank you for listening.